Ciao and welcome. Today I'll be cooking a chicken which I've just deboned. Here it is in front of me. Also, I just made a video. Click on the link up here if you're interested to learn how to do it, or ask your butcher. Also, you do not have to debone it. You can just stuff it as normal and just cook it as normal. But I will be doing mine on the barbecue, and I will be slicing it. And of course you can do yours in the oven. My stuffing is going to be made of mincemeat and bacon and some vegetables, and I'll start by pouring some olive oil in the frying pan. I will be pre-cooking the stuffing, and I want the flavors to bond together before they go in the oven. And I've got here a very finely chopped onion, a piece of celery and a carrot to make a soffritto. So the oil is nice and hot, and I will be adding now my vegetables, carrots, celery and onion. And thank you, Priscilla, for the tip by using the back of a knife rather than the sharp end. After a couple of minutes, add a clove of garlic which I've just very finely chopped. And meat-wise, I'm gonna be using some bacon here. This is smoked bacon, and some minced beef, or maybe beef mince. Perfetto, the meat is nice and brown and water is all gone, and I'm going to be adding now a tiny little amount of dry white wine. Not a lot, just a little. I'm pouring it in a separate bowl, and I'll leave it to cool down. After a few minutes, now that that's cooled down, I'm ready to add a few more ingredients. So this is Parmesan cheese, or grana you can also use, and quantities to taste. Also, you do not have to use Italian cheese, you can use cheddar, but I would recommend that you grate it if you do use anything else. I'm also adding an egg. This will help bond everything together. A little salt, some pepper as well, again quantities to taste. And also I'm adding some parsley. I will put a fair amount as I love parsley. And again, individual choices, so you can put rosemary as well. Today I fancy parsley, but chopped rosemary also very nice. And I'll give everything an initial mix with my spoon to see what consistency I get after the egg has been mixed with my meat. And I'm balancing the consistency now with some dry breadcrumbs, and I'm putting 3 level spoons of breadcrumbs. I think in my case it's okay, 3 spoons of breadcrumbs was enough. You'll have to judge it really, and depends how big your egg is, also how much water there is in your mince, but something that looks approximately like this would be perfect. And I'm ready to stuff the chicken. When I deboned the chicken, I sliced some of the breast away from here, and I'm now putting it on a separate plate as I will need this later. And I would personally use hands if I was you, and I always start by filling in the legs, so literally get hold of some of your meat and start pushing in towards the inside of the legs. So effectively I am replacing the bones with meat. Place half of the meat at the base of the chicken, and today I will be adding a whole mozzarella, and maybe I'll put it this way up actually, there, in the middle. Get hold of the remaining meat and put it on top, and ensure that you get a nice mountain covering the mozzarella. And before I close the chicken, I will be adding the remaining pieces of breast which I removed from the bottom earlier. Perfect. I will now fold it. And everything fits nicely, which means that the quantities used were perfect. And I'm gonna get my sewing kit out and show you how to do my post-surgery treatment. And I've started sewing now, so I've got a proper needle here for this job and some string, and you can see that I've started from the bottom, and if you're used to sewing you will find this job very easy and straightforward. A couple of tips really: don't do it too tight because it will rip, and also it might rip, even if it doesn't rip now, it will rip when you're cooking it. But also try and go in as much as you can, and maybe leave a good inch from the cut, so that it has actually some strength, and that will not rip either. So that are the two most essential things really. and just work your way until you reach the end. Once you reach the end, actually I'm going to turn it around so that you can see better. Cut the string with a pair of scissors and just do another couple of knots to lock it. That is it really, and you can choose to also sew the bottom end, the bum, but I didn't overfill it, so I think I'm happy that I don't need to do anything else. And if we turn it around now, there it is. It's looking back to almost its normal shape. And that is it really. I've put it inside a cast iron skillet. I'm now rubbing some olive oil. Also put a couple of pieces of string so that it stays together for when I carve it. And as I will be putting it inside the barbecue, I want to catch all of the lovely juices. And before I do that, I will put a little salt on the outside and also add some pepper. And admit it, you knew this was coming. A little rosemary across the two pieces of strings. And that is it, ready to go on the barbie, and I'll show that in a moment. Yes, I'm ready. And here we are near the barbecue, and as you gather, it's been raining. This is England after all. So the barbecue has been on for a good 10 minutes and it's now at a temperature of 150 degrees. By the time it cooks, it will be anything between 150 and 200, but I'm happy that it can go in. So off he goes. It's heavy. In my case, I'll place it in the middle and I will close it just like you would do in an oven, and initially I'll let it cook for an hour. As you know, everything is being cooked already inside, so it's more about cooking the chicken, but of course the meat inside will also cook in between. So I'll check it in an hour, but by the time it's done I will let you know if you require it any longer. But of course a lot depends from the size of your chicken and the powerful barbecue you might have at home. So I'll see you in about an hour. Ciao. 1 hour on, and that's predicted. If you look at the temperature, look, it's between 175 and 200, a bit like an oven indoors. So let's have a look. Perfect.
Smelling good.
Yes, and I see all the juices. By using the skillet, I'm able to retain them. I want to put the chicken back on the barbecue. So firstly, I'll move it on a plate. I'll put it aside, ready for the juices later. I'm going to be removing the rosemary. I will be putting some fresh one later. And I'm going to be popping it back on the barbecue so that I get some heat on the top and also some lovely beautiful lines from the grill. And I'll leave it there for a good 10 minutes now, and then it should be ready. See you in 10 minutes. Actually 5 minutes, not 10. It's pretty much ready. So I'll pick it up. Very gently I'll put it on this plate, and I'll leave it now for 10 minutes so that all of the juices go down, and then in 10 minutes we'll be ready to be sliced without making a mess. So see you in 10 minutes. Bye. And we are ready to rock and roll. So I'll cut it in the middle. And as it is all deboned, as I mentioned before, very easy and straightforward. Let's have a look. Hey, can you see that, Julie? Mozzarella. It's a whole bowl of mozzarella. Looks lovely. So I'm gonna do a nice big thick slice. And there it is, still steaming hot, but good enough to eat. I'm gonna try some. And look, I managed not to cut myself while I was doing it. I managed to cut myself when I was washing up. What Wally? Well, I think my expression says it all. It's lovely. If you make it, let me know how you get on, and be interesting to get some comments to see if you try. But absolutely delicious. Ciao, ciao. See you later. Enjoy if you make it. Bye. Right.
Is there a bit for me?
Of course I do.
The vulture has arrived. You can have your opinion, Alessandro.
My expression says it all.